November 22nd, 1963. Dallas, Texas. In less than 7 seconds, the President of the United States will be shot and killed. In broad daylight, in front of thousands of witnesses. More than 6 decades later, it remains one of the most investigated events in American history and one of the most argued over. Let's walk through what actually happened. Hour by hour, President John F. Kennedy was in Texas on a political trip aiming to shore up support ahead of the 1964 election. Texas was a state where the Democratic Party was divided, and Kennedy wanted to smooth things over in person. The visit included stops in San Antonio, Houston, and Fort Worth, before the final stop, Dallas. A motorcade was planned to drive the President and First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy through downtown Dallas, ending at the Dallas Trade Mart, where Kennedy was set to give a lunch speech. The morning began in Fort Worth. Kennedy gave a brief outdoor speech to a crowd gathered in the rain, then flew the short distance to Dallas's Love Field Airport, aboard Air Force One. At Love Field, a large, enthusiastic crowd had gathered. By most accounts, the mood was upbeat. There had been public concern about hostility toward Kennedy in Dallas, given some strongly worded local newspaper ads and flyers critical of his policies. But the crowd's reception was warm. Just after 11:50 a.m., the motorcade left the airport. It included the President's open-top limousine, Secret Service vehicles, and cars for local officials, moving slowly through the streets, so crowds could see the President and First Lady. Thousands of people lined the streets of downtown Dallas. Riding in the car with the Kennedys were Texas Governor John Connally and his wife, Nellie. At around 12:30 p.m., the motorcade turned onto Elm Street, passing through an area known as Dealey Plaza, heading toward an underpass. As the motorcade passed the Texas School Book Depository building, shots were fired. Kennedy was struck and fatally wounded. Governor Connally was also seriously injured, though he survived. The limousine sped to nearby Parkland Memorial Hospital. Despite emergency efforts by the medical team, President Kennedy was pronounced dead at 1 p.m. local time. He was 46 years old. Later that afternoon, aboard Air Force One at Dallas's Love Field, Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson was sworn in as the new President of the United States. Jacqueline Kennedy, still wearing the same suit from earlier that day, stood beside him during the ceremony. Roughly 45 minutes after the shooting, police arrested a suspect, Lee Harvey Oswald, at a movie theater in Dallas, after he was also linked to the shooting death of a Dallas police officer, J.D. Tippit, earlier that afternoon. 2 days later, on November 24th, Oswald himself was shot and killed while in police custody by a Dallas nightclub owner named Jack Ruby, an event that happened live on television in front of the nation. With Oswald dead, President Johnson established the Warren Commission to formally investigate the assassination. After nearly a year of investigation, the commission concluded in 1964 that Oswald had acted alone, firing from the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository. That conclusion has never been universally accepted. In the decades since, a number of alternative theories have circulated, some suggesting involvement by the CIA, organized crime, or Cuban exile groups, among others. A later government investigation, the House Select Committee on Assassinations in the late 1970s, concluded there was a probable conspiracy based on acoustic evidence that was later disputed by other experts. To this day, no theory beyond the official one has been conclusively proven.